It seems like there's this interesting mix of hype and pressure that's beginning to build up around the launch of Halo Infinite. I think that a lot of us really want Infinite to be the best game possible. It's already got some very fun multiplayer, and it seems like the campaign could be a decent story at least, but there is a lot of intensity to make sure this game really proves itself, because otherwise this could be a bit of a catastrophe. It feels like there's these complaints that are beginning to bubble up beneath the surface. I've seen a lot of people actually upset that the campaign is still not talked about very much, and the multiplayer certainly has a couple issues. But now I want to try and answer a very specific question I see going around. Is Halo Infinite unfinished? What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here, and today we're going to talk about this, but I want to make it very, very clear, this is not a hate video. I'm not here to bash on Halo Infinite, but instead, I want to talk about how fun the game is now, and why I hope that this game can be as good as possible. Up until now, I've been enjoying the multiplayer quite a bit. In fact, every single night, I've been playing it a couple hours with my friends, getting frags, running people over with ghosts, and getting some pretty awesome killing sprees. I think that, in a lot of ways, Halo Infinite is already incredibly fun, but I want to talk about the delays and some of the things I've seen people really kind of dissecting when it comes to the very weird microtransactions that are littered throughout the multiplayer that we have currently. Now let's start things off with this article that's over on Engadget. Halo Infinite's campaign co-op and Forge modes have been delayed again. This is one of the biggest issues that I personally have. I love the campaign for Halo. I love the fact that they have this gigantic space lore and the fact that we get to go from ring to ring, planet to planet, blasting some very amazingly designed aliens. And the fact that I have to wait months to play with my friends is a bit of a disappointment. But let me actually look at this article itself. The first previews for Halo Infinite's campaign have arrived, and it's looking like an exciting step forward for the series. Unfortunately, players have to wait even longer than expected to play the mode with their friends. Developer 343 Industries announced in August that Halo Infinite won't have campaign co-op or Forge when it launches on December 8th. It plans to add campaign co-op when Season 2 launch, which initially was supposed to happen 3 months after launch, which means that we would have had campaign co-op in freaking February. Now we're having it in May. It won't arrive until May at the earliest. Now, to me, this is a bit of a disappointment because of two separate reasons at once. First and foremost, I want to play the campaign co-op so badly. I want to be able to actually just explore these areas, go across these maps. The fact that Halo Infinite is sort of open world with like hub zones where you get a chance to go to different points, doing that with friends sounds infinitely more fun. In fact, I've been reading a lot of the previews and stuff. People have been saying that it feels like Halo Infinite is built for campaign co-op. The fact that that's not showing up for 6 months is a bit of a gigantic red flag. Now, what's crazy about this is Forge is going to be even later than that. Forge is like Halo's special map builder mode. The fact that we're not going to have a single bit of custom content. People aren't going to be making infection maps. People aren't going to be making their own styles of battle royale. Fans are not going to be able to make the custom stuff that they love the most inside of Halo for quite a long time. Like, it may be an entire year before we get Forge, or at least 7 or 8 months after launch. It's nuts to think about these features not being available. But the other part of this that I feel like a lot of people have been upset about is that as fun as the multiplayer is, as well balanced as these super weapons are and stealths and shields, like every freaking gadget and weapon inside of Halo that we've played thus far is incredibly well balanced. Like, I'm still just shocked as to how well they managed to put this together. But there is a downside to it, which is this weird battle pass. So right now they're doing this special live event that's like, it's basically an ability to unlock this cool samurai armor. Everybody's excited about it. Great, you know, but here's the problem. We have here an article over on Forbes.com by Paul Tassi. Halo Infinite might be throwing the worst live events I've ever seen. So here's how this breaks down. The longer we play Halo Infinite, the more one truth continues to emerge. For as brilliantly fun as gameplay is, the progression and microtransaction systems in this game are equally unfun. Now, here's the specific part. What's the problem? Problems plural. Let's see. You do not progress with XP, but instead you get a level by completing specific challenges related to the Fiesta event playlist. That's fine, except for the fact that eventually you will almost immediately run out of event challenges, and you'll go back to grinding out regular weekly challenges. Even if you grind through all your weekly challenges, 343 only puts 7 total event challenges in this playlist. There are 30 levels to pass. That means that out of the 6 weeks that this event is running, you'll have to max out those challenges 5 times in order to unlock everything. Basically what this means is the fact that already it seems like there is this gigantic toolkit of very fun stuff inside of Halo Infinite. It seems like these skins, these toys, these ideas of cosmetics are already completed. It's just a matter of figuring out, all right, how do we break this down? How do we hand it out? What's the proper distribution that's going to make it where people are going to play the longest? Now, if I could put on my conspiracy hat for a second, I think that part of the issue is that Halo Infinite is unfinished. They have a lot of big plans in mind. There's definitely a lack of maps. There's definitely some spots of this that feel a little bit unpolished. There's definitely a lot of content that's coming in the future. Now that's exciting. In fact, I think a lot of gamers are perhaps most hyped about the fact that Halo is definitely going to grow and improve. It seems like this is a project that the longer you play it, the better it's going to get. The problem is that right now, all we see is the edges of the experience. All we're seeing now is the things we can't do. And this is unfortunately leading us to a lot of time where we can sit here and see the cracks in this amazing freaking product. Like, here's one that's definitely been talked about a lot. Holy heck, Halo Infinite charges $8 for the color blue. Oh my gosh, as with the Halo games listed above, Halo Infinite's multiplayer is making up for its losses in being free to play by introducing microtransactions. Players of the sci-fi shooter can purchase XP boosts, challenge swaps, which means, again, going back to the event, sometimes if you don't get the daily quest you like, you can pay like $2 to swap out a specific daily quest, or, more importantly, cosmetics. Like how Fortnite has hundreds of different skins, you can now purchase stuff, including Lucky Blue, which costs you $8 freaking dollars. This costs you $8. Now, this doesn't even talk about the fact that if you really wanted to just max out and get every single piece of armor in the game right now, it'd cost you $1,000. Now, this is a very dramatic calculation. Technically, this is if you actually spent money to boost your way all the way up instead of playing the game. Nobody's really going to spend $1,000 on Halo. I mean, it's technically possible, but this is a bit ridiculous. Now, for me personally, I don't really have a problem with these microtransactions because, yes, they're a bit annoying, but they're just random cosmetics, and I'm enjoying the gameplay so much that I can kind of just ignore the fact that these are weird and insidious. My problem is with the fact that there's just these little tiny details that keep stacking up. Like, still the fact that it's weird the fact that I can't just play a kill 'em all match type. I can't just do straight up Slayer matches back to back. The fact that you still have to do the multiplayer by just selecting game size, like, the more I level up, the more I put time into this, the more I really squad up with my buddies and stuff, the more I begin to realize that it's really strange the features that are downright missing from the multiplayer. And it makes me think this is definitely, to some degree, unfinished. There are problems in this game that exist because they were just not properly tested. It's incredibly apparent that as much as this is fun, as much as they're continuing to put the nails into this house as it's being built, it is very much a raw product. It feels a little bit like we're trying to bake a cake or something, but suddenly the oven just breaks, and so we have to take the cake out. And even though it's not quite done, it's still pretty decent. It needs that extra time in the oven to really become the finalized product we hoped it would be. I want to end this video with this specific tweet by my friend here, ACG. Obviously, this is he's a big, gigantic reviewer, and he's somebody that's even played a bunch of Halo's campaign already. This man is an Infinite aficionado, but he said this: I somehow missed that 343, which is Joe Staten, the guy in charge of 343 Industries, said that multiplayer issues and all that could push CoOp and Forge even farther out. I got so much BS for saying that the free-to-play multiplayer and any issues could impact the paid-for product that we spent money on, and yet here we are. So this is funny to me because it's kind of, in a way, disheartening. Like, the more we want them to improve the multiplayer, it may end up delaying the single player. The more we want them to patch and fix different modes or try and fix these stupid microtransactions, it may mean more days or weeks or months before we actually get a chance to have campaign co-op. What if we end up waiting an entire year to experience everything that's supposed to be in the single player, straightforward storytelling concept of Halo Infinite? I don't know. I wish this game was done. And I don't mean that as a detriment, I just mean it as like, this game seems so fun thus far. I've really enjoyed playing it, I really enjoy getting my freaking headshots, I really enjoy just playing around in this world because it is so refined. I wish it was complete. I wish the cake was ready to come out of the oven. Well, what do you guys think? Have you been playing the Halo Infinite multiplayer beta? Have you been enjoying it? Have you watched my review? Tell me what you thought of it. And also, you guys rock. Please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. I am so hopelessly addicted to Halo Infinite's multiplayer. Seriously, I'd probably be putting out more videos if I wasn't playing Halo Infinite 4 hours a day, but you know what? I got no regrets. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.